Hi, everybody. I'm Abby, but I'm not alone. I'm being joined by the great UFOtekkie.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, we are running the PS2 version because unfortunately Windows 11 hates the PC version of this game. And the reason I'm sitting in the memory card right now is because the game likes to play the intro quite quickly every time. And it's very loud. So that is why we are running on PS2, because also the HD collection is the worst version of them all. But without any further ado, in 3, 2, 1, let us begin the run. So, given that this is the PS2 version, we get the joys of load screens and what have you. But for the most part, everything is pretty similar. Between the two runs between PC and console, other than load times. And so you will see a lot of things that you would see in a no QSQL run that you would see in a PC run. Minus the fact that I don't have an instant save button. So there will be some different things that I do there. So right now we're in a nightmare, and we need to end it as quickly as possible by getting punched in the face. Because when you're playing on easy, you cannot fall off ledges. So our next fastest option is to go to this nice gentleman in this little room and have him hit us repeatedly in the face. The fastest method is getting him to do his stab like you just saw there, but have it happen 3 times. And that's complete RNG. But luckily, we have the third fastest option happening right now, because it goes 3 stabs, or 2 stabs and a punch, or a stab and a couple of punches. Unfortunately, if you're up against a wall and he goes for the punch stab, you don't take full damage from it. So that's why you want him to open with the stab punch for the first 2 hits, because you most likely will guarantee take full damage. Getting him to do it 3 times is really tricky. I've never been able to do it. I'm also running on a different control scheme from what generally everybody runs it at, which is 3D controls. I run 2D controls because for whatever reason, 3D controls give me wicked vertigo for whatever reason. So you will see a sort of difference from how Techie and many other players would play because of that. For Silent Hill runs, actually, Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 4, the preferred method is 2D controls, funny enough. Whereas 1, I don't think gives you an option to switch, and 3 gives you the 3D controls and 2D controls option.
Yeah, that's true. Silent Hill 1's the only one that truly forces tank controls.
Ah. Yeah, because I think Silent Hill Origins is straight up 2D controls, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have the option. It's like Silent Hill 4, but with the worst camera.
Yes. So right now we're just running away from Douglas. Douglas was in the cutscene after we woke up. He's been looking for us. He's a detective. More on him later. He doesn't understand what's going on, but he's been hired by the bad guys to try to find us and doesn't have any context. And also spoilers that are on the back of the box. We're playing as Heather Mason. I wonder who her dad is. It's really weird that they would actually list her last name on the back of the box, because it's supposed to be a surprise when you beat the game who we're actually playing as. Also, it's bread. So now that we have the tongs, we can go get the key. So that's what we're going to do, which allows us to unlock the bookstore. And then we can meet the main villain of the game as we're running past what I call raptors. Their actual names are numb bodies. When I started speedrunning this game, I didn't know the names of enemies, so I just made up names, and I've just never stopped calling them those names. So there we go. We will be picking up healing items throughout the run because I will need those for running through Silent Hill. Also, spoiler warning, we're not in Silent Hill yet. We don't get there till about halfway through the game. It's the first Silent Hill game to do that. 4 doesn't even take place in Silent Hill. It actually takes place in the town that Mary from Silent Hill 2 stayed at with that mysterious disease. I think only Origins 1, half of 3, Homecoming, and I guess Downpour are the only ones that take place in Silent Hill. 6829 is our code.
Even Homecoming's only partial too.
Oh, is it? I haven't played Homecoming.
Yeah, you only go there
10 years.
Yeah, once it becomes a big plot point. You get all the badass characters. We got to go to Silent Hill. It's one of those moments.
One of those moments. I know Travis comes back. Sorry, I messed up the number. Please, Heather. It can get finicky. 8. Okay, it was 6829. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I know Travis drives Alex somewhere.
Speaking of Silent Hill, I do want to ask if Silent Hill is supposed to be a silent game. It looks like currently we are not getting any game audio. But
okay. Let me fix that real quick. I think I know what happened. Whoops. There we go. That should do it. There we go. Sorry about that. That was my bad.
They've come to witness.
And so we've met Claudia, who is the main villain. Don't run in that hallway. Thank you. All right, cool. And then we go in the elevator, which is where we're going to get the radio, which is going to tell us when there's enemies nearby. It's not really that important. If they're that we're notified of that. The flashlight's more important because in Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3, at the very least, that I have experience with that, you need the flashlight on in order to pick up items, whereas in Silent Hill Origins, Travis does not care if it's on or off, and it's better to have the flashlight off in that game. Whereas here, Heather will not pick up certain items if the flashlight's not on. And speaking of the flashlight, that's what we're going to go off and get next, as we have some lovely doggos that are going to try and hit us, but we're just going to ignore them. See, that's the fun thing about this run. We only really need to fight 5 enemies, and they're all bosses. Everything else can be completely ignored. The only time that you would need to fight enemies is if you were going for 10-star or the UFO ending. UFO ending requires you to defeat 31 enemies by using the laser beam, and 10-star requires X amount of points, and you get those points from using ranged weapons on 75 enemies and melee weapons on 75 enemies. I think I have that right. I've never done
75 each.
Nice. So there we go. We now have the clothes hanger, so we can now pull down a ladder, and hopefully we don't get sandwiched in this hallway coming up, because there is a hallway, or there are 2 closers over here, and they have a chance to basically sandwich you between them and the wall, and it's like, oh no. But we made it through with no issue, and then we're just gonna run. There we go. And then sometimes objects can be finicky on where to use them, so it's kind of hard to tell sometimes as we climb up here. And then we're going to go get another key. This one is a cooked key, because unfortunately they decided to cook a dog.
because they cooked it.
And it's like, oh. So yeah, right now we're in the Other World Mall, by the way. Most of the time, the Other World always happens in cutscenes in this game. It's not like, oh, it's just randomly gonna switch from one to the other. Although, pretty sure most games are cutscenes. And I don't know why I said that. I might be imagining things. Oh dear.
No, they definitely made more of a spectacle of it after the movie came out. That kind of set the expectation. You got to have the cool effect.
That does check out.
So we're just running here. Again, you'll find save spots, which are those little circles in this game. As a fun fact, you can actually find 2 references to Silent Hill 3 and Silent Hill 2 Remake, which is the weird thing, such as the It's Bread as well as the save symbol for Silent Hill 3. And they're kind of well, the save symbol is definitely harder to miss or easy to miss than the It's Bread, because the It's Bread is just sitting in the hotel. But it's something you kind of have to go out of your way in the speed run for. So here we go, running away. Also, what are they doing in here? They're not usually in here, so that's interesting. And then this hallway on 2D controls, or this room, can get a little bit difficult to manage if you're new to the control scheme in this game, because the camera is the biggest enemy in this game if you're on 2D controls, because you're at the mercy of the camera. You try to take control of the camera, the game goes, no, what are you doing? And it will just be like, I'm a turn in a circle for like the entire time. So you kind of just got to go with the flow of what the camera's doing. Whereas 3D controls, you can be in complete control of the camera. You also have the option of strafing, which is not a thing in 2D controls. And so there's just 2 buttons that don't work in 2D controls because strafing does not exist in this control scheme. So
yeah, it's a huge benefit with tank controls where you're just setting up muscle memory. You don't really have to pay attention to the camera too much.
And also, welcome to bees. They're the loudest thing in the game outside of the intro. There'll be more of them once we hit the sewers, and now we have the Moonstone, which can open the door to the boss, which is a giant worm. And then we're out of here and onto Subway, because we're still trying to get away from Douglas and also get home. So we go through the subway and then through the sewer system to get home, and also through an office building, because, office building. Also, the reason the camera's like, hey, look at this pipe, that's because it's a weapon. And it's like, please take this weapon. And it's like, no, you would only really take that if you were doing 10-star or if you were doing melee only. But in this category, we just ignore it and just keep going. So we continue. Also, the dog may be aggroed. Not 100% sure. If it is, Heather might try to play some DDR as we try to go through the door. Oh, it is totally aggro. Cool. So that's another thing is she likes to try to auto attack things if they're near enough.
Yes,
And
that is a huge pain. Running up to a door and then auto locking onto a nearby enemy and kind of running after them instead.
Yeah, and so the way it looks like she's dancing. And of course, since Konami made Dance Dance Revolution, that's why I say trying to DDR. And I'm like, look, I know you're at a mall. It's 2001. Please stop.
Hate it. The intro song to this game was in DDR.
That's awesome.
But yeah, if you're wondering why I say 2001, it is because you get a phone call somewhere in the game and it tells you that you're 30 something, and that's because it's using Alyssa's age. And so once you figure out that in 1977, which is when Origins takes place, and I think she's 7 in that game, and then you realize that Silent Hill 1 takes place 7 years after Silent Hill Origins, that's 1984, and she's 14, so somehow numbers equals 2001. And supposedly Silent Hill 2 takes place in 1993. Supposedly. And so that's your timeline. And then Silent Hill F takes place in 1960. So if you wanted to play the series in chronological order, you would do F, then Origins, then 1, then 2, then 3. And I cannot help you for what year 4, Homecoming, and Downpour take place in, because I don't know.
Yeah, I know a lot of them are roughly chronological, but I forget the exact. You start pulling out a smartphone in Shattered Memories 2008. They're roughly dated around the time they came out.
Yeah. We get the cool loading screen. That's the thing about the console versions, is you get to see the loading screens. Like in original Silent Hill 2, it's white footprints. Or shoe prints, and in this one it's just whatever we want to call them. Yeah, the blobs. So here we go. Also, there's a movie reference here. See if you can find it. Also, it'd be helpful if I turned correctly. Haha. But yes, there is a movie reference happening on this screen right now. See if you can find it. It's blink and you'll miss it, and also very hard, and you need to super pay attention to, because that's just how that goes. And then we're being introduced to the trio of dogs. They generally stay out of the way, though sometimes they can get caught on the stairs. They can even push you into the next screen if they start attacking you over here. It's happened a couple of times, which is always fun. There we go. As we need to get the nutcracker. It doesn't look like a nutcracker. It looks like something you would use, I don't know, on a car or something mechanical, more than you would use to get nutritious snack. Go. Also, I forgot to mention Minmo. Everybody say hi to Minmo. It's the cat food that can give you laser eyes. So there we go.
Oh, was the movie reference Bergen Street?
It was.
Oh, I'm so smart. Let's go.
Yes, it was. It is a reference to Jacob's Ladder. And then we're going to go get our shotgun, which does spawn in an enemy, but it ignores us because we're too fast. It only spawns in if you grab the shotgun, and on harder difficulties, there's actually 2 of them sitting there, and they both have a hard time hitting you. You pretty much have to stand there and wait for them to get up if you want to get hit by them. There we go. And then turn. Sometimes the camera will turn and show you the trash at the end of the hallway. Sometimes it won't. Doesn't really matter. Don't go down the first staircase because that will lead to death. So now we have to jump down on the track. And fun thing, back when I started learning this game, I found a completely useless glitch But on 2D controls, if the dogs are chasing you enough, you can auto aim yourself through the platform. Don't do that. It's a very bad idea because the game doesn't recognize that you're on the platform. And so if you go through the door, you will still be out of bounds and the train will hit you. And it's
That's
like,
awesome.
oh no.
I was going to mention the auto aim dragging you away from the platform there, making it harder to get up. It's kind of terrifying.
Yeah. And then I'm going to count the third trash can there. That's my way of knowing that I'm by the staircase. Because again, if I try to change the camera angle, the game will be, again, like, what are you doing? No, bad, stop. And then you're like, oh. So we go down. There's a health drink there. I'm not going to pick it up. And then we board the train that is ran by a ghost because the door just closes on its own. And granted, I know nothing about subway stations before the year 2009. I don't know if that was always a thing. And so, anyway, ghost train, apparently.
But the trains used to be driven by ghosts.
I suppose. Also, if y'all don't mind, I'd like to show something cool here for a second. So we just went through a train, right? Through a car. But guess what? Oh, we're at the end of the train. What? So the cars just disappear as you go through. And it's like, oh, well, all right then. So perhaps maybe this really is a ghost train? Who knows? But yeah, that's a neat little thing that can happen.
Squeezing past that guy, that's like the big blocker in this area.
Yeah, and on harder difficulties, the big enemy that we saw earlier, they're in here too, but only on harder difficulties. If I were to get hit while trying to get past those guys, I would have lost 0.7 seconds. And if I had have gotten knocked down, it would have been 4 seconds. I may have timed things out back in the day when I was heavily running this game. Maybe. Don't worry about it. And so now we're just running, and eventually we're going to see the spooky load screen blobs. And then the cutscene for the end of the train should activate. And there we are. And we're through the subway. Now on to the sewer section. Hooray. Whoops, please don't run into the steel beams. Thank you. I don't know why a door to the subway station leads to the sewer, but sure. Because that's exactly where we're being led to. If you were doing extra new game, this area would all be completely red and what have you. And also, if you were playing on a harder difficulty, you would be taking damage every second. At one point, when it was possible that the community was going to add the possessed ending to the speedrun board, some people were routing the best way to do that, and apparently sitting in that hallway for 6.5 minutes was the best way to do that, because the way you get the possessed ending is to get 4,000 points. And by sitting in that hallway for 6.5 minutes, you basically get 3,000 points. And then you could talk to the ghost girl in the church, forgive her, which gives you the remaining 1,000 points, and you're good. So there we go. However, possessed ending never really became a thing, and, well, a speedrun thing. There we go. And we're out of here. Don't aim, please. There we go. We made it past the giant raptor number 2. There aren't a lot of giant raptors on easy. The last one is actually in the sewer as well, and then raptors in general leave when you get through the regular hilltop before going into Otherworld Hilltop. Bees are here forever. Beware the bees, as we've got the long hallway. Very good. On the PC version, you still have this tiny bit of a load screen, but there's no, like, bubble screen. Oh, there's no bubble screen on console anyway. Okay, cool. I could have sworn there was a bubble screen there, but it doesn't matter. So on PC, you just get this one random load, and it's like, oh, all right, cool. And then we want the second door here first so that we can fill our wine bottle full of oil. This is the first tricky interactable thing. It's not the trickiest. It's just the first one that is a bit of a trick or a bit of a tough one if you're starting out learning the run for this game. Also, this raptor can sometimes be a pain. It'll either let you get a short turn or will force you to do a long turn around it. And now we enter the most finicky interactable in the entire game. This thing is a living pain if you are starting out, because games like, oh, you want to put the oil in the generator so you can do the thing? No. And sometimes it can take 2 minutes and it's just like, oh, all right, cool game.
Love when games do that.
But yeah, we turned the generator on so that we could get down here because it's full of disgusting water of some sort. And it's just like, oh, cool. And then we have here, when going across the bridge, you saw how the camera was like that? Don't adjust how you're moving the character until the camera is back behind you, because if you try, the game is going to flip Heather so many times, and it's just going to be a nightmare. And then we have here, if you fall in the water, you will lose 4 seconds of time. As we just keep running here to get into the door because we need to grab a hairdryer, because remember the giant worm back at the mall? Well, it has a child, and we need to deal with the split worm junior by electrocuting it with a hairdryer. It is not a fight, it is completely cutscene. But if you don't have the hairdryer and you try to cross the little bridge, it will kill you. And it's like, oh. So because 2D controls, I don't have control of the camera. What I do there, I call it dryer bounce. And what I'm doing, or what I did, even though I spun around like 3 times, is I'm bouncing off the little trash can into the hairdryer so that I can grab it. I will also be doing a rope bounce and a desk bounce later on. Because, again, camera's your enemy, so you gotta find creative ways to not have to deal with that. Also, everybody say goodbye to large raptors because we are passing it now.
Bye.
And then we have this room, which can sometimes be a pain because, again, wants to flip the camera, make it through. This is also where you would get the gold pipe on higher difficulties. Oh, game. Please don't.
It's being picky.
Yeah, picky. So there we go. And literally all we're doing is plugging it into an outlet, turning it on, and then just throwing it in the water. Please don't do that. There's a good chance it won't even do the thing, and this is just movie logic. Go.
I think across that bridge is super scary on harder difficulties too.
And then we're going to go down, and then we're going to hear the sound of 3 bees going at once. Because that's what's happening here. On higher difficulties, it's 4 bees at once. And we are now going to be leaving the sewer for the apartment building. So here we go. Again, this is one of those weird parts where despite the fact that the camera is behind me, it will act like the camera was like on the bridge where I said don't move the camera until it's back behind her. It's weird that this is a spot like that, but it's whatever. I can't explain it. And then, yeah, we're going to get out of the sewers now and head to the apartment office building thing. Because there's a dance studio, there's like a movie studio and what have you, and things of that nature. There we go. This used to be a giant pain when I started out because of how the camera behaves. And there's a couple other spots in here that are like that, but you know, once you can get the hang of it, it becomes pretty simple. Also, there might be a jump scare noise here. Thing about that jump scare noise is it's just a noise. You would think there's something here, but no, there's nothing here. I don't even think you see the thing that makes the noise. As we just climb up to the 5th floor here. Here we go. And then we're gonna go in here. And even on the PC version, you get a little bit of a load here. So typically what I do for these screens that have loads is I basically put the analog stick in a position that allows us to basically hit the objects we need to hit. And then we fall down here and the mattress breaks our fall. I don't know how scientifically accurate that is because that seems like too high for a single mattress to be able to cushion your fall. And then we're just walking on some very rusted scaffolding to get to the other side of the building. And we're going to enter the dance studio to grab some rope. We're going to use it to climb down an elevator shaft because the elevator's broken. But we also need to find the jack in order to make the elevator door open more. So here we go. Oh, now I remember why it's 2001, because 1984 subtracts 7 or add 17 or whatever. Yeah, that's why it's 2001. Because Heather's 17 and Heather's the baby at the end of Silent Hill 1. Spoilers that Konami spoiled on the back of the box anyway, because, you know, Heather Mason. Wink. I can't wink, but you get my point. Or 16 years. Something, 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 something.
Close enough.
So now we're heading up to the 5th floor. This is where you can get the katana. The katana is very important to melee only. And then there's also knife only. Knife only, of course, you're only allowed to use the knife that you get at the very beginning of the game. The katana's fun. But we're not going to see it here. Also, everybody say goodbye to raptors in general, because these are the last 2 in the entire run. We will never see them again.
Bye, raptors.
And I'm going to grab the health drinks. The reason I'm grabbing the health drinks is because health drinks restore stamina, and we will be running a lot in Silent Hill itself. And so we need at least 3 to run through Silent Hill. See, the thing is, every time I'm opening a door and what have you, it refills Heather's stamina each time. So that's why we don't worry about stamina when running through areas. But again, because of the distance we have to run in Silent Hill, we need those health drinks to heal. Some people will also use ampules, which are full heals. And then we go. And then we open. Whoop, no, not the flashlight. So we're going to open the elevator. And then we're going to go down. And then we're going to go to the Otherworld Hospital. Fun fact about this line coming up. Konami got sued for the line that's coming up, which is Harry Mason saying it's being invaded by another world or by the other world. And that is because the voice actor didn't agree to that. And so he sued them, which is why in the PC version, you hear nothing. Also, fun fact about that. Did you know that Castlevania Symphony of the Night was the first game to give us Resident Evil versus Silent Hill, though 2 years before Silent Hill came out? Because the voice of Dracula is the voice of Harry Mason, and the voice of Richter Belmont is the voice of Chris Redfield.
It's being invaded by the other world, by a world of
You learn something new every day.
delusions come to.
Yeah. And so there's it's being invaded by another world, or by the other world. And then we just continue like normal. We never actually see Harry Mason ever. He just kind of exists in a mystery. Really, the only time you see Harry and his face, if you will, is in the UFO ending, though that's a completely like hand-drawn, like not animated thing. Because, fun fact, Harry is in every UFO, well, the first 3 UFO endings, and James is in every UFO ending from 2. He's in 3, and he's in Shattered Memories UFO ending, but he's not in Origins because Origins is way before Silent Hill 1, so why would he be there? And then, oof. Okay, I got hit there. These guys are always fun. Pain. Very big pain. So now we have to go burn a painting. And to do that, we're going to get some pork liver, matches, and I already grabbed the first thing. I believe it's some form of alcohol, like medical alcohol. Yay.
Speaking of an assortment of random items, I do want to shout out Hotfix. We usually have a random assortment of games and things to showcase on the channel. So if you're curious to see what's coming up on Hotfix, check out this week's schedule and explore our full season lineup at gdq.gg/hotfix.
Of course, also picking up shotgun shells, because we will need those for the bosses themselves. And the next boss is coming up here, and it is the thing that kills Harry, which is the missionary. Spoilers again, because we don't watch the cutscenes. Heather actually finds out that she's not fighting monsters and is completely mortified because, chat, we're not fighting monsters. It's weird. We're just fighting cultists that are just regular, and it's like, oh no. But yes, also Claudia is trying to make Heather angry because Heather is the reincarnation of Alyssa from Silent. And that's the weird thing, because if you play Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill Origins, Alyssa's not evil. It's her mother that's evil. So that part kind of makes no sense. That it's like, yes, you will bring forth the chaos. And it's like, I mean, I guess, but she was also avoiding all of that. And then Harry got tricked and caused all the things to happen. But whatever. Semantics, don't worry about it.
That's a whole thing.
Now, the fun thing about that object is you would think that you would want to be at the bucket. But no, you want to be at the painting. If you're at the bucket, the game goes, what are you doing? I don't know what you're trying to do, but stop. And won't let you put everything in the bucket. It's really weird.
It's a miserable hallway. Yeah, right off the bat.
Yep. This hallway leads to many a reset. Oh, cool. Double hit. As we keep running. Also, fun fact, the actress's name is also Heather, who plays Heather, and the voice of Dahlia plays Angela in Silent Hill 2 OG. And also, the person who sings all the songs, well, not all the songs, but most of the songs, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, is, for any Tekken fans, is Nina Williams since Tekken 7. So,
I'm loving the
yeah.
trivia. Learning a lot.
So now we have the insurance key, which means we can finally leave the building because we'll get the magic words to get the thing not blocking the door. Which leads me to ask, how did Vincent leave? Is there like magic words to bring it back? So he just says
money.
The power of money.
He called an Uber.
I didn't know Ubers existed in 2001. Go. And then we're going this way to unlock the insurance. Boy, would I not like to get life insurance in a place that looks this bad. And then we have these two. They have gone to eat the meat. Sometimes they will run and attack you. But we got the meat, so that's pretty good. Camera, please. There we go.
Ooh, booey. Ego heiress.
What do those mean? They're the magic words to get the thing to go away and allow us to leave. Also, if anybody's sitting in a dark room, I apologize again because the game is going to flashbang us
Flashbang.
right now again.
Ah!
It does this at,
Oh, it's a long one, too.
I want to say 3 times it does this, and I don't know why. But yeehaw. So there we go. Please don't hit the the pylons things. Cool. All right. There we go. So we're just running home now.
Time to run past, was it apartment 201 to go to a different apartment 201?
I think. And then we're going here. And then we're going to go into the building. Or, well, we're already in the building. I meant the apartment, which is right here. And we're home. But, oh no, things are not what they seem. So it does a couple of load screens. That's the load screen where she finds her dad. And then there's going to be another one. We're up on the roof. This is where we're going to do a bit of setup. So we're going to equip the health drinks for when we're running through Silent Hill. And then this is the first time we equip the thing. However, oh, I missed that shot completely. Cool. He likes to go on running sprees sometimes. RNG says hello. However, this fight is fun because it doesn't end until you kick him. So if you never kick him, you're just here. You're stuck. Just in this scene. And so now we are finally going to head to Silent Hill after all this time. We haven't been in Silent Hill yet. We've just been wherever we were. And then we
Somewhere.
go to the Silent Hills. And also in the car ride that we skip, Douglas actually talks about James not by name. He just mentions how he was sent to Silent Hill to look for somebody a few years back. And it's presumed to be James. He never found him.
So while we are getting right before, I guess, before we go to Silent Hill, would now be a good time to take a little bit of a wellness break.
Yep.
Yeah, so we can go ahead and get the timer paused here. But right now we are going to take a quick wellness break. So make sure you all in chat, you hydrate, use the restroom, stretch, get a little sweet treat, go for a walk, do all that fun stuff. And we will be back soon with more Silent Hill 3. Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Silent Hill episode of Hidden Heroes. We are in the middle of a great Silent Hill 3 new game run, so I'm going to hand it back over to Abby's Corner. Good luck once again.
Previously on Silent Hill 3, we weren't in Silent Hill. Could you believe it? Welcome back in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So now we're finally here. Tekkie, can you believe it that we finally made it to Silent Hill like 40 minutes later? Isn't it incredible?
Time to slam some beverages.
So, Silent Hill in Silent Hill 3 is the exact same layout as it is in Silent Hill 2. However, we go to different locations and some locations aren't available, and also, unfortunately, a music track isn't available because while we can go into Heaven's Night, we're not going to do that. There is no, Heaven's Night theme that plays. You just go there. And you can pick something up, and it makes me sad that the music doesn't exist. But as we go, you can stop here, you can see this ice cream truck, you can see all these things as I heal once now. You want to be careful when going past this white car here in a second, because if you are on the right side of the car, meaning you're on the sidewalk, the camera angle will change because it's like, hey, Heaven's Night's right there, please go there. But if you're on the road, you don't get that, and you can just keep going like normal. Also, you're going to see 2 red signs here. If you're ever lost in this game, you're like, where's the hospital? Once you see red sign number 1 and red sign number 2, you're at the entrance of the hospital. The hospital has the exact same layout as camera, please. The hospital has the same layout as it does in Silent Hill 2. However, we go to different floors and different rooms and what have you. And so the elevators are active, so we can take the elevator that James takes at the end of the hospital right away. Also, the nurses are different. You can hear the nurses breathe heavily, and you can see their faces. They're not all completely bandaged up like they are in Silent Hill 2 and in Silent Hill Homecoming and in... I don't know what other games have nurses in them. Oh, wait, Silent Hill 1's nurses are also different than Silent Hill 2's and in Silent Hill 1's. But my point is, they look different. They didn't have that, hey, all the nurses need to look the same thing yet. So we're going to pick up these shotgun shells and the perfume. The perfume is going to be very important, not for the hospital, but for the amusement park. And then we're going to have this door code, which is always 4639 on easy anyway. Here's the problem with the console ports. It is so finicky. Okay, come on now. So finicky if you're going to hit... Did I hit that button? Thank you, Gabe. So finicky on whether you're going to hit that. Whereas on PC, you just use your mouse and it's perfectly fine. And it's like, why did you do this? Why did you make the button so small? So in Silent Hill 2, you would need to go to M2, but in Silent Hill 3, we go to M4. And fun fact, you don't actually have to turn off the alarm clock here. You just need to see that it's what time it is. And on the PC version, if you set it to the highest resolution, which is 4096 by 4096, you can see what time it is without even touching the alarm clock if you zoom in properly. I've never been able to do it, but that is a thing.
Yeah, it's cool that the hands are set properly every time.
There we go. Then we're running over here. Back to the elevator because the stairs are currently locked, which is funny, although James takes the stairs a different way. And then we go down to the first floor because we have to see a wonderful art piece. and we have to interact with it. Otherwise, Heather won't just grab the key for whatever reason. So even though we know there's going to be a key there, you have to look at it in order for Heather to use the nail polish remover to grab the key. So you're like, haha. So there we go. And then we're running. Look at the art piece. It's most wonderful. It belongs in a museum. And then we ruin it by taking the key, of course, re-equip the shotgun here, and then use the nail polish remover and head to the basement. Some runners will grab the SMG in the basement. Unfortunately, I have really bad luck when it comes to aiming it down at Leonard, so I'm just a straight up shotgun user, because it's just too much of a pain to try to set up. But if you wanted to go for like world record times, you would need the SMG for that. As we head down the stairs, again, another spot where the camera really likes to give you the business is right here. As you see, because of its rapid change, Heather might do like a 180 and just turn completely around. And so this is where we need the camera to give us the third floor code. So we're going to snap the picture. And then 6289 is our code. That code is always randomized. Again, Silent Hill 3 has less randomization than Silent Hill 2, which is why Lucky Hill exists and whatnot, because you can set your seeds. But in Silent Hill 2, in Silent Hill 3, sorry, there is one singular randomized code, and it is the third floor code. So there we go. So again, 6289. 60. Oh, come on. Are you... Hello? There we go. Really? There we go. Again,
That just looks
very
awful
finicky.
to work with.
It is, which is why it's like PC's like, you can totally just use your mouse, and it's like awesome. So now we're going to S12 to pick up a phone call from Leonard. Again, it can be hard to see the numbers, but usually the door is one door after the nurse, 1 to 2 doors. There we go. And then we're going to go back down to the second floor and go to M mystery number, which allows us to go into the Otherworld Hospital. As we go here. And then in Otherworld Hospital, we need to get a bag of blood, a key, and then we can go fight the boss. Luckily, there's no puzzle for the key on easy. I have never seen the puzzle before. I understand that the puzzle is a pain to do, and that's my extent of the knowledge of the puzzle. So here we go. We're in the very rusted hallway with very functioning gates. Because I don't know why you would think that if the hallway is this rusted, that the gates wouldn't work. But they're like, no, they work perfectly fine.
Right.
Running. So there's 3 hallways we have to get through. Each one of them has a little difference with their gates. So running here, go this way. Now, in order for this gate to rise, you have to make sure that this one lowers. And it'll only lower depending what position, like how close you are. So if you can get it just right, you can barely take a step towards it, have it fall, and then immediately turn around. And then, oh no, the gates are falling. What are we gonna do? We're stuck. Oh wait, let me just hit this symbol on the wall.
Another removed voice line.
Yes. It's Lisa lines from 1, right?
Yeah.
Fun fact, I've only played Silent Hill 1 once. And it was this year.
I mean, that's more than me, so.
And now we have who I like to call Mr. Core Strength. Take a look at his legs, then take a look at his arms. You'll notice that they aren't offering that much support. So obviously it's his core strength that is keeping him afloat. Also pay attention to the green shoe. Apparently this is Lisa being tormented for eternity, even though Lisa has red shoes. So it's kind of a mystery. But that gentleman that we just passed is actually the boss of Pyramid Head, and the art director / creator of Pyramid Head wanted so badly to have Volteal kill Pyramid Head, and it just never happened. But he very badly wanted that to happen.
It would have been a little odd in this game.
True. So it doesn't matter what order you tackle this in, but when I was learning it, I didn't realize that you could skip the elevators or that the elevators pause the timer. So I was using logic, which is you start on the third floor, so obviously going to the second floor would be the fastest option. And then I go back up to the third floor, and then I go down to the basement, then I go to floor 1, thinking again logically. But none of that matters. You can literally do basement before going to floor 2. Just make sure you go to floor 2 before going back up to floor 3, because floor 2 has the plastic bag that you're going to put the blood in. So there we go. Thank you. And we're going to turn this way. We're also going to put the perfume on because, again, the next stop is the amusement park, and it's specifically only for one enemy. If you don't put the perfume on, it becomes a brick wall that can hit you, which is really unfortunate.
Well, that does not sound fun at all, actually.
It's not. So now we have the plastic blood, so now we can open the way to Leonard. That is the reason we get the blood, is so that we can get to Leonard's boss room. And you're gonna notice something about the Leonard fight that makes absolutely no logical sense and defies the laws of physics. But we'll get there. So then we go down to the third basement. And again, the keys just open. There's no puzzle to solve.
At least convenient on the harder difficulties. It has a little combination lock, but it's always the same.
Nice. Yeah, like I said, Silent Hill 2 is far more RNG puzzles than this one.
Having to memorize 2 4-digit codes while running around hallways and stuff. I was awful at that.
Oh, back in the day when I started running this game, when it came to the Polaroid code, I'd have to do nothing but say the code over and over again to input it.
Yep.
You couldn't interrupt me or anything. If you interrupted me, I'd be like, what's the code? I don't know. And I didn't even realize there was a note that told you. that you kept the Polaroid in the memos. And so I would just immediately reset. So here we go. It is the Leonard boss fight. Leonard, the run killer of bosses because he likes to go for swims. Now here's the thing that defies physics, because you're all gonna see a thing. So pay close attention. Note I know nothing of science. But we're all going to learn something today about how this is physically impossible. See how he's like, I don't know, 3 feet taller than us? Oh good, he's not gonna swim. But he'll swim in this water that doesn't even come up to our waist. So we got good RNG on Leonard. I was not having good RNG earlier today at all. And there we go. Leonard is defeated. That is what you like to see against Leonard, is that he just falls right away. Also, that should be the last time the game flashbangs us. I'm really sorry if anybody is sitting in a dark room right now. So now we have the talisman. I have no idea what the talisman does because we don't put it anywhere. It's just that Vincent is like, go see Claudia's father. And I'm like, okay. And so we do. And he's also a part of the cult, but a different part of the cult. And so he's trying to stop Claudia from doing things. And then Claudia yells at Vincent, why did you send her to my father? And Vincent's like, well, you don't like him. And then she's like, oh, yes, you're right. I'm not mad at you anymore. And you're like, uh-huh. All right. Also, Vincent is trying to stop Claudia. I don't know. Game story is weird. So now that we're done with the hospital, we have to go back, and I have to pray that I'm actually going the right way because the camera liked to flip there. So we have to go back to the hotel and realize that Douglas isn't there. Vincent tells us where Douglas is, which is the amusement park. Then we can run to the amusement park. And again, running through Silent Hill is why we need 3 health drinks. The other health drinks are for the final boss fight and healing, because we need to heal during that fight, and only during that fight do we ever need to heal. The unfortunate thing is that because we're on console, there's no visual indicator how much health you're at unless you go into the pause menu or the inventory menu. They're just like, yeah, no, the controller rumble is fine. It's not fine. I would have preferred a visual indicator, because on the PC version, you get a red cross to tell you that you're dying. In this, you get a barely functioning rumble feature. And it's like, I don't know what that means. Help. And whereas I'm not using a PS2 controller, I'm actually using an 8-bit Ultimate 2, because I use a Brooks converter in order to use newer controllers, because PS2 controllers are way too expensive for what they are, and used controllers are hit or miss. So I am using a Brooks converter and technically a Nintendo Switch controller in order to play the video game. So if you're ever like, I would like to play PS2 games again, get yourselves a Brooks converter if you don't want a bad PS2 controller. So right now I'm waiting for the second dog to make noise or something, so that way I know to heal, but I'm pretty sure I'm good to heal there. One time when I ran this game, by the way, fun fact, somehow I ended up all the way back at the hospital. I don't know when I turned, but apparently I turned at some point and just went back to the hospital, because literally the amusement park is just straight ahead. And of course, Silent Hill 3 was the introduction to the mascot of Silent Hill, one Robbie the Rabbit. This was his debut. And he's in. Is he in 4? I think he's in every game after this, right? I don't.
Yeah, usually
Yes.
some little cameos and such. There's
I know
other
he's in
mascots this amusement park, and they never get any love. Huey Horse. No, they made Robbie Rabbit a thing.
I rock with Huey Horse. That sounds awesome.
And so now we're back in where we had the nightmare, and we're now going into the gift shop because we need a key. When the key drops is random. It can drop right away like that, or you gotta go more around the corner. No, we don't want to save. I'm sorry, Heather, but
Yeah,
no saving.
There was a point where someone dropped like the reverse engineered programming of how this works, and it's like all this weird stuff with your camera angles, and it's really way over engineered.
Dang.
It's just a key.
You can get an ampule in here. You can also get 2 health packs. Whoops, there we go. So that's the guy that becomes a brick wall. But he'll do, instead of trying to punch you or double punch you, what he'll do is he'll swing his arms back and forth, and it pretty much guarantees a knockdown and everything. But by having the thing, we're perfectly fine. Also, everybody get ready for everyone's favorite part of the video game, although it's a nightmare for my moderators, because it's time for the Borley Haunted Mansion. We're so glad you came. Please come inside and look around. When you feel you're ready, then go through the door. Things do the thing. I don't know why the game fights me on that, on the PS2 version. So there we go.
I think it's one of the situations where like the prompt to look at the scenery is like overlapping with the prompt to like interact with this other thing.
So there we go. So the reason we turn that off is because if in a casual playthrough, the nightmare ends when you die. And so you get hit by the roller coaster and fall. And so that's why she goes and gets the key and turns it off, even though a ghost turns it back on and she's fine. So that's kind of the thing. So that's why she goes and does that. And now there is the 2 minute and 50 seconds of waiting. So in extra new game, you get to skip most of the Borley Haunted Mansion. But in new game, you have to sit through it all, which is why I know this line for line, because when you have over 800 hours in this game, it gets bled into your mind because, again, you're forced to sit here and listen to it because you can only move on once he stops talking.
Help! Help!
Do you hear those voices? A family of 4 were sliced into bloody pieces in this room. Oh, the cries of the children. The murderer was caught. Do you know why he said he killed his family? Because I felt I had to. Anyway, I'm lying. It's all just a joke. And then it zooms in over there and you can see it. And again, you can mash the text. Again, in extra new game, you can just run through all of this. So it's interesting. They force you to sit through it. I believe the door is locked because of audio dialogue, which doesn't make sense because, again, in extra new game, you can just go. Now, one thing about extra new game is in order to go through the next door, you do have to activate Danny, who's a quiet young man, but quite friendly, as you can see. He was so eager to meet you. His hometown is New Orleans, but he came here after first losing his way. Oh, maybe you might know. Where is the path to heaven? And so you again have to wait for him to complete the dialogue. We don't know anything about Chairman, unfortunately. And then, this mansion is quite old, so please, I'm so sorry. This place is just falling apart. The mechanism is broken, you see. It wasn't supposed to stop there. I assure you. Once he says assure you, you can go through on Extra New Game. But there's the exit. I hope you've enjoyed your tour. Please come back anytime. Or if you prefer, we could come and visit you instead. And then we have to run away from the red light. If the red light touches you, it is an insta-kill. The exit. But it seems that no one wants you to leave. Everyone really likes you. They want you to stay with them forever. I have to agree with them. And then the dialogue stops here. There is another line after he says, I have to agree with them. But for whatever reason, it doesn't play here. You just get the sound of the red light.
Blew my mind finding out that the layout of this section is identical to the first one, except reversed or something.
Oh. Interesting. I didn't know that. And then we run past the two closers. Please don't run into the wall. And that's why, this is why Amusement Park is the longest section, because of the Borley Haunted Mansion taking 2 minutes and 50 seconds to completely get through. And then you have to grab a red shoe.
I will say I think that was the best rendition of the Borley Haunted Mansion dialogue I've ever heard.
And then we're gonna go this way. Pick up the chain, because that's how we open the door. And then the red shoe is on the ground. And then pick up our last ammo pickup and also our last health drink. There we go. There we go. And then you would think to put it on the door handle, but no. You want to put it on the door itself. But of course, depends where she's looking. So there we go. Put it halfway there, and then we're going to put it here. And hopefully this is the right spot. It is. Cool. That's another finicky spot that will be a pain. So now that we do that, we activate the ride, and because the ride is turning, it causes the door to rip open, and then we finally find Douglas, who's unfortunately broken his leg. And he's just gonna chill there for the rest of the game. Fun fact, you can actually find notes from Harry from, or not Harry. Yeah, Harry. I'm getting confused with Henry, it's fine. You can actually find notes that he writes in Silent Hill 1 throughout here.
Like
one of them is
saves.
actually here. Yep. And please go here. Now you might be asking, why am I picking up a doll head as I go and accidentally click on one of Harry's notes? Go.
And when you first save in Silent Hill 1, he's like, yeah, I'm going to take notes here in case anyone ever finds these. And then here we are 2 games later.
2 games in 17 years. So,
Those notes have been there the whole time.
we have to do, obviously related to fairy tales, but what does Snow White have to do with dolls? Look at the shape of the head, and you might notice that it looks like a certain thing that you would eat, or that she would eat. I wonder what it could be. And then we run here. We're almost done with the amusement park as we are about to fight the evil version of ourselves. Hooray. So there we go. We're gonna run here and head on to the carousel. And what I'm going to do here is I'm immediately going to open the inventory because it's going to start the moving faster. In the PC version, you can go into the special pause save menu, but because we don't have that here on console, we're just going to do that. And also talk to the horse because the horse pauses. Talking to the horses pauses the IGT, not that that matters for an actual speedrun, because on December 14th, 2022, a thing was discovered where if you mash the supply button, it pauses the IGT timer every time you do it. And therefore, it completely turned this game's speedrun on its head. And therefore, the console versions were changed to RTA, and it took them, I want to say, 2 months-ish to make a special timer that negates that. And so it acts like the IGT timer, only hitting the supply button doesn't pause it every time you press it. And now that they've started back up, I'm going to open that, which speeds up the thing. And there we go. And now we fight the evil version of ourselves. Alyssa has 4 phases. 2 melee phases, and also she likes to run sometimes. Please stop running. Oh, come on. 2 melee phases, 2 ranged phases. And by looking at the center like this, you can kind of manipulate her spawn location, sort of. So right now she's in melee phase. Oh, come on. Oh, you're in a really bad spot for this. I see. All right, that was so fun. Please don't be in that position again. You're over here again, aren't you? No, you're over here.
As long as he's trying to slap you instead of run away.
True. So if you can get close enough, it's 2 shots. However, in phase 4, she can finally be knocked down. She cannot die from a shot being knocked down. Ow. She must be hit with a shot standing up. Hopefully I have enough bullets for this. So 1 more should do it. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, all set.
So we have defeated her, and for some reason, the merry-go-round is connected to the church. I don't know who built this theme park. I don't know who did the city planning. But, that's weird.
It's a little stressful for ammo here, because you do get a lot more easy ammo, like, right after this.
Yeah. You get 24 bullets, although depending how much you pick up, you will get less. But with the way we pick up things, it will be 24. So we'll have more than enough to take on the final boss, because she only takes between 12 and 14 shots if placed correctly. So there we go. And then we meet Claudia. Heather tries to trick her into thinking she's Alessa and goes, "Please stop trying to do this." And Claudia's like, No. We're going to do this. So now we need to collect the 5 pieces of Exodia. Let us not forget that Konami both owns the Silent Hill license as well as Yu-Gi-Oh! But legitimately, we do need to gather the 5 cards in order to unlock the final boss room. So that is what we are going to do now. Also, don't forget to turn on the flashlight because, again, she won't pick up one of the cards if the flashlight is off.
The rough room.
There we go.
It's not too bad for now.
And then we are going to do Ghost Girl Skip. So the way this works is I take a couple steps in and immediately leave. And then I do it again. Then we do it again. Or do we? No.
It's another weird small thing that's maybe way over-engineered when they created this.
But yes, you can do that 3 to 6 times, and doing it that many times is still faster than waiting for her to get to the painting. Don't you know? And we have to do that again as well in a different spot for card number 4. So now we're going to see Vincent, who is the one that informs us that we're not actually fighting monsters. He's like, wait, you see them as monsters? What? They're not monsters. And it's like, oh, well, darn.
Oopsie.
Look, camera, please. And there we go. We got the moon. And then we're running. Please don't hit me. Thank you. That guy can be a bit of a pain. And then only on the console version does the word pause show up when trying to skip that elevator ride. But doing that skips the elevator ride, which is why we do that. And then we're getting card number 3 as well as 24 shots. There we go. Yeehaw.
Whole section, like the overhang that you're running on right now, is such a nightmare on the harder difficulties.
Because you can fall off at any point.
Yeah.
And then we have bees. Like I said, bees never go away. Also, on harder difficulties, bees will fly at you and try to hit you way more often. And then we're here to get the key to get to card number 5. And also grab card number 4.
Kind of poetic how this works out. You got to grab the key at the very end, right next to the final boss door, but you have to run all the way back to the beginning of the level to use it.
Yep. And then we have
these
this
jerks.
room. Yeah. So remember how I did that thing? We got to do it again. And this time there's enemies directly sitting at the door waiting. So there we go. And the pain with this one is that she doesn't start crying again until you're basically at the spot. So you're like, oh no. Ow. Heather, now is not the time for dancing to evolution.
It's going to be spooking coming back out through there.
There we go. So then this opens, and then we learn about the Glophotus. And also get card number 4. This was the room that Alyssa was put in. So there we go.
A Glophotus. I thought I got rid of that.
No. It was sitting inside of her pendant the whole time. Ow.
Oh, it didn't hit them.
Oh my god, I did.
Oh, no way.
Unlucky.
That first bat must have been a lot. Holy moly.
Apparently. Oh, all right, cool. What happens if I hit continue?
Start a church, I think.
We're gonna find out. Oh, it is the start of church. Okay. Oh no. All right. So okay, so we just lost like 5 minutes. So that's cool.
It happens.
I was like, huh, all right. I thought I was good on health. So oh, I know exactly what happened. That was probably the stab shot and then probably hit with the swing. I don't know how much damage the swing does.
Maybe the machine gun.
And then this guy again.
This might actually be open now.
No.
Still no. Ah, damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, oh, so everything we gotta do again. I was kind of hoping that it would have been like, you're back in Alyssa's room, because that would have been cool.
That would have been
Here we
so
go.
nice. While we are catching up a little bit, I do want to talk about where you can catch up on past hotfix shows, special events, and other GDQ marathons, which you can find that on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. So if you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with GDQ and see all the fun stuff we've got going on.
Oh, plus I did get hit by him, so that would have made sense. That would have made sense, although I thought I would have had much higher health at that point, but that's okay. So again, Vincent, woohoo, we're at 2. And then, okay, good, he didn't hit me that time. Down. How is my health if I go look at that? Okay, yeah, we're in pretty good shape because it goes blue, then white, then yellow, then red. So yeah, I think it was just bad luck with getting hit like that. I've actually never been hit with that shot down here, so that was new. So go. Cause yeah, no, like we had, I don't know, do those guys also do more damage than regular ones? Because those are different ones.
You're talking about the missionaries running around? Or the
No, the closers that are smoky.
Oh. I don't know. I didn't think so. But they have like a super variable amount of damage that they do, I think. Like sometimes
Yeah.
it seems like it's so much.
Because I mean, their stab move is the most damage, but I'm also like, I've never been hit by the smoky ones with the stab damage, so I'm like, is that the most? I don't know. So they're super far apart again. Oh yeah, and that's right, they were beating me up as I was doing this, so I should have been a little cautious there. So there we go. Okay, we didn't get DDR'd this time. Okay, cool. It was a short mount again, and then we can go. And plus, they're not as close, so we should be fine. I never did learn the glitched path for this because, again, the PAL version's the version you want for the glitch version because it runs at 50 frames, so it's easier to do them all.
Oh.
And they're very complicated. Whereas this is a NTSC copy. I have a Korean copy also sitting behind me, which is just a variation of the Japanese version, which is also 60. So huzzah. Just gonna check something real quick. 2, 3. Okay, I'm at 4. I for some reason thought I didn't grab the ammo room, and I was like, oh, I should probably double check that. Anyway, we're on our way to the last card, and then it's the final boss fight. So we're good.
Hooray!
However, everything's about to get real bubbly. So yeah, as Tekkie mentioned, we have to go all the way back to the beginning of the game to get the final card. Because the door was locked the whole time, and for whatever reason they were like, let's make you go to the very end of the area and then make you go all the way back for reason. So we're gonna go into this classroom because there's an enemy sitting on the floor and they have a very large hitbox. But by doing this and the desk bounce, we can just skip it entirely and grab the last card and all that stuff. However, when we go back through the classroom, if we go look at the enemy, it spawns in another enemy for whatever reason. It's really weird.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like literally you're turning like 2 feet and it's like, here's an enemy for you. And you're like, what? Okay. But if you don't go and look at the enemy, it's like, you're fine. Cool.
I've learned so much about this game in the last like hour and a half.
Oh no, not. Heather, please. Again, a lot of DDR
Yeah, that
can
was
happen.
spooky.
As far as I know, you don't get that on like normal and hard, right?
Oh, the auto aim.
Yeah,
I don't.
because I know there's not a
think so.
way to turn it off, which is weird. But there is not a way to turn it off. So yeah, like I said, everything gets real bubbly, and you just hear these gross bubble noises all the time. Oh, whoops, I missed the door. It's the second to last one. Huzzah. And then ow. There we go. And then we run into the butterfly room. And so this code always stays the same depending on difficulty. Also, I'm in the yellow. Hooray. That's why I grab one of these just in case, which puts me back to that. All right. So the way this works is the IGT timer is paused the entire time. So technically, you could sit here for an hour and it would still be whatever your time is. Don't do that. I'm pretty sure the mods would get mad.
We'll reject your run for being a jerk.
And then you put them in. So if you're like, oh, I forget where one of them goes or what have you, you could look it up and not lose time for it. And now we have the most hated hallway for 2D controls because this hallway hates 2D controls completely. But also we're at the final boss. So Vincent goes, okay, Claudia, you need to be doomed. Heather, waste her. And Claudia's like, I'm gonna get rid of you now, Vincent. And then we take the Aglophilus, and then Heather does a thing. I'm trying to be as PG as possible, but she does a thing, and then Claudia goes, no, and then she does a thing, and then God is born. However, because it wasn't Heather, it is assumed that is why God does not have immortality. And so that's why we can kill it. So here we go. 1. Like I said, 12 to 14 shots, depending how you hit it. So 2, 3, and while I am killing it, Tekkie, would you like to tell the fine people where they can find you?
I still stream tons of stuff, Silent Hill and other, at twitch.tv/UFOtekkie or just otter.gg.
Heck yeah. You can also find Tekkie on the Blue Sky, which is also otter dot something or other, if I recall correctly. Yes, as we are. Again, I have no idea what my health is at because it's a very light... Oh, and that's the run. Time. Hooray. We did the thing. Yes.
Jeez.
Thank you for having me. I stream pretty daily. I do a lot of speed runs. I don't really speedrun Silent Hill 3 anymore because PS2 version's kind of and PC version doesn't work anymore. A reminder that if you're on Windows 11, PC version is like, no,
At the end?
you cannot play me because I will crash, and is very bad. You can also find me on Blue Sky at Abby's Corner. You can also see me here next Wednesday as I run Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the original Resident Evil 3, on Out of the Box. So I'll be back next week, too. Yes, indeed. But thank you, Anarchy, for having us. I appreciate it. And, yeah. Also in this scene, when Heather turns around and there's no music, supposedly there's supposed to be a baby crying because the UFO ending mentions that she's a mother, and also Silent Hill Book of Memories also mentions that she's a mother. So supposedly that's also a thing that may have been cut.
Well, there you have it. No, you're good. There you have it. Thank you so much again for that run. Thank you both for being on the show. Again, I really appreciate it. That was a great run.